Well, students, good evening to all of you. So, guys, today I'm going to take the class of M.Ed Dissertation Viva. All right. So, everybody, you have got the date sheet. So, today in this lecture, we will discuss the important questions which will be asked by the examiner during your dissertation, right? During your dissertation Viva, right, guys? So, I have prepared some of the question. So, before this, now I just want to tell you basically what is a this study, right, this is a research study, okay, which you have already done. Okay, you have made a three or four copies and you have submitted to the college and the university. It is okay, right, guys? But in a very short time you have to understand from where we start and from where we end, right? So first of all, you everybody should know that there are 5 or 6 chapters of this dissertation, right? The number one chapter is the introduction, right? Under the introduction chapter, you write that which topic you are going to start. Okay, what is the significance of the topic, right? And what is the sample of the topic, what is the objectives of the topic, hypothesis of the topic, and what is the delimitations of the topic. Okay, these all things you write in the chapter 1. Now we talk about the chapter 2. Chapter 2 is the review of related literature. Although सभी का means more or less 5 or 6 chapters ही होती हैं basically, right? Second chapter, the name of the second chapter is review of related literature. Okay, what does it mean, guys? It means that whatever the topic you have selected, for example, you have selected the topic emotional intelligence of prospective teacher in relations to uh, academic achievement. Okay, any of the topic you have selected that, right? But now, for example, it is your topic. You have to note, every review related to this topic. Okay. You can go to the newspaper, you can go to the journals, you can go to the onlines. Okay. So whosoever the person have done the research, have published the research paper or any of the article, okay, they have written on this topic, you have to note that and you will get some idea, right? Then guys, you have to start your study. Do you know what is the meaning of a research? Research is it is a systematic inquiry about a problem, hana. It is a solutions to the problem. Okay, there is a particular problem because research ko we also call the problem, so we have to solve. But you have to start from where you have to start, where the other person have left. Okay, for example, 2025 is going on, right? This month is going on. सबसे पहले, इस महीने से पहले, whosoever the person have done the research on your particular topic, okay, you start where other scholar, other researcher has left, right? This is the research basically, right? In a one chapter, I have told you what you have to write, although you have written, okay, but this is my, lecture for the M.Ed scholars, PhD scholars, right? Under the second chapter, the name of the chapter is Review of Related Literatures. So you write all the names, okay? All the reviews, all the data collected, from where you have collected the data. And guys, this is the, this is your ethic. Whosoever name you have selected, you have to write in the last under the bibliography, okay? Third chapter is the design and procedure. So under this chapter, what you have to write, under this chapter, design and procedure, you have to write that already you have written, Hana, you have submitted that. But I'm talking that when you start it, right? So under this chapter, you write, this is my sample. This is my population. This is my tool of the study. Under the third chapter, right? Okay, you have to remember design and procedure. Okay, then number 4, under the third chapter, you write the, whatever the tools you have taken, tools of the study, questionnaire, tools, scales. These are the synonym. Okay. So examiner can ask from you, okay, tell me, what is the scale you have selected? Tell me the, scale name. So guys, you don't have to confuse whether it is, these are the, common names, synonyms of, okay, tool of your study, scale of your study, questionnaire. Okay. So either you select the tool or scale which is standardized, means already published by some other persons. For example, Mangal sir, Raghav, these are, they have written a tools on some, particular topic. So either you select that particular questionnaire, okay, so then you have to mention, and that particular questionnaire, tool or scale, you have to mention in the last, means you have to take the printout of that, and you have to bind in the last, right? First of all, you have to take the permission from the author with this study you are going to start, right? And then under the third chapter, you have to write the statistical tool which you are going to use it. Okay. For example, you are using the mean, you are using the median, you are using the ANOVA, you are using the t-test. Okay. Mostly, we are talking about the M.Ed thesis, huh? तो एमएड थीसिस में बेसिकली यू यूज द टी वैल्यू, मतलब विच इज योर कैलकुलेटेड वैल्यू. टी वैल्यू मीन्स you have to find out the difference between the two sample means. Okay, so that, after putting the formula, it comes that, and whatever the software you have used, for example, there is a very common software now going on, SPSS software. Okay, under the SPSS software, whatever the data you have collected, you have to, put the data, and you put one command, particular reliability, validity, and T value. So within a second, it shows that this is your T value, reliability, and validity. Okay, but you should have the, thoroughly knowledge about it, right? So these all things you mentioned under the third chapter. Now, fourth chapter. Fourth chapter, the name of the fourth chapter is Interpretations of the Data. Up, guys, whatever the result, okay, you get after putting all the formulas, you have to mention under the chapter 4. Okay, and under the chapter 4, basically, generally, most of the time, you check your uh, null hypothesis. This is called hypothesis testing. Okay, testing of your hypothesis. Because in the last lecture, I have also mentioned you now, whatever the topic you have selected, you cannot conduct a experiment directly on that topic. First of all, you make the null hypothesis. Huh? What are the hypotheses of your study? For example, I have taken one example, emotional intelligence of prospective teacher in relations to academic achievement. Okay, so generally, you makes the hypothesis of your study, and means you want to check the prospective teacher whether they have the knowledge of emotional intelligence or not, academic achievement or not, and third, whether if there is a relationship between the emotional intelligence and academic achievement. Means basically you want to prove that if the prospective teacher having the emotional intelligence, it also impact on the academic achievement. Basically, this is your theory, this is your study which you are going to prove it. Okay, so end of in the chapter 4 or chapter 5, result will come. Okay, what the result comes, okay, you never know that. So basically, you have used a standardized tool, and you directly go to the colleges, okay, where the B.Ed teachers are doing the teaching course, B.Ed course, and after taking the permission from the principal, you enter into the class of the B.Ed teacher, and the whatever the scales or tools you have used, you take the print out of 100 copies or 200 copies, whatever is your sample, right? And you distribute to all the students, and you say to that, okay, guys, this is a 1 hour question. These are the 50 questions of emotional intelligence, and this you have to fill it within a 1 hour. Okay, so they write it, they fill it. After 1 hour, you get it, and you come back at your home, and you uh, put all the results into the SPSS software or with the help of Excel. Okay, you do that if you know the formula. Okay, and you get some of the result, right? In the chapter 3. So now the chapter 4 comes, interpretations of the data. Here you see that, okay, what is the mean value? Okay, what is the standard deviation? What is the T value? And under a chapter 4, you check that value, calculated value, with the level of significance. Okay. So basically, what is the level of significance? Level of significance, you can see that in this slide, I have written that level of significance basically it is a guy's threshold value. Okay. It is threshold value where you check your calculated value with the threshold value. So level of significance basically it is the measurement of the statistical significance. It defines whether the null hypothesis is assumed to be accepted or not rejected. Okay, sometimes you called उसका meaning भी accepted ही है, right? Not rejected का meaning भी accepted है. Technical you use the not rejected. Okay, so null hypothesis is assumed to be accepted or rejected. Guys, basically, two level of significance you check that. Number one is 0.05 and 0.01. Right? But table value of you can see that. Okay, such type of a you can see that now that box, this kind of a box. Okay, so it shows from the SPSS, okay, or Excel. You have to prove and you have to mention. Sometimes some students, okay, make the graph also. Okay, although in your M.Ed dissertations you mention this, it is also okay. But if you make a graph, it is a good one, Hana? Because when the examiner checks that, he'll come to know that okay, mean value is this. But directly he can show from the graph also. So these values, okay, you put it after putting all the formulas under the chapter 4. For example, I have prepared a one slide to understand to you. Now the t value has come. Here, just see the t value. T value is 1.71. Now level of significance, I have already told you what are the level of significance. These are the statistical significance. You check your calculated value with the significance level, and mostly you check on the 0.05 level and 0.01 level. And under the table value of 0.05 is 1.96. It is written on that slide. And the table value of 0.01 is 2.58. Okay, so you check the t value with this value. Ab dekho guys, t value is 1.71. It is lesser than or greater than? It is lesser than the table value of 0.05 and 0.01, which is 1.96 and 2.58. Okay, so guys, you have to remember, this rule. If the t value is less than the, if the t value means calculated value is less than the table value, then your hypothesis, your null hypothesis is accepted. Okay. And if the t value is greater than the level of significance value, table value, so then your null hypothesis is rejected. Okay. So it is written t value is less than significance level, then null hypothesis is accepted. And when t value is greater than significance level, then null hypothesis is rejected. Okay. So this is the, under a chapter 4, you do these all the things, right? And, after that, these all things you do that in the chapter 4, under a chapter 4, you have to write the results of the study. Okay. For example, 3 or 4 null hypotheses you have created in under a chapter 1, under the topic of a hypothesis of the research study. For example, you have taken a 3 null hypothesis. Okay. So according to the 3 null hypothesis, when you check in the chapter 4 against the threshold value level of significance, तो वो जो null hypothesis होंगे, whether they will be accepted or rejected. For example, your 2 null hypothesis is accepted. Okay. What was your first null hypothesis? You made that there will be no significant difference in the emotional intelligence and academic achievement of prospective teacher, right? Second, you make that null hypothesis. There will be no significant difference in the emotional intelligence and academic achievement of prospective teachers with respect to gender wise, male or female. And third, you have made the null hypothesis. There will be no significant relationship exist between the emotional intelligence and academic achievement. Okay, your 2 null hypothesis is accepted, and you make your result that there is no difference of emotional intelligence of prospective teacher. Of emotional intelligence, and second, you make the result that because null hypothesis is accepted, and you make the result, second result is there will be no difference of academic achievement of male and female of prospective teacher. What was your third null hypothesis? That there will be a no significant relationship exist of emotional intelligence and academic achievement. But in a chapter 4, after getting all the data from the teachers, okay, B.Ed trainees, you come to know that, okay, and you put the correlation over there basically when you have to check the two variables, right? So you use the correlations, and when you want to check the effect of a one variable on the other, you use the regressions. Here we are talking about the correlation. Correlations आपका highly correlated आ जाता है, for example, right? It has come the between 0 to 1 के बीच में आ जाता है and highly correlated है, तो आपका null hypothesis क्या हो गया? Rejected, right? तो then you write the third result. It should be like there is a highly correlations between the emotional intelligence and academic achievement, right? So this is your result of the study. And chapter now, after that, chapter 5th come. Okay. After the chapter 5th, guys, you write the summary, you write the results of the study, you write the educational implication, the most important, and you write the suggestions for further research. Okay. So here the summary है ना, summary of all the chapter 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so you write that summary. Then results of the study, you write that all the hypotheses, all the null hypotheses, and all the results है ना. For example, we have taken a one topic and results, you write that 1, 2, 3, right? And the educational implication. अब this is the most important, educational implications. Okay, अब आप ये देखो आपकी study क्या थी? What was your study? Okay, we have taken an example of emotional intelligence of prospective teacher in relations to academic achievement, है ना? And what were our null hypothesis? First हमने null बना लिया, there will be no significant difference, है ना, of emotional intelligence and academic achievement of prospective teacher. Second हमने gender wise ले लिया. Third हमने क्या बनाया कि there will be no significant relationship. But after interpreting of the result, we have come to know that कि there is a strong relationship between the emotional intelligence and academic achievement. So under the educational implications, we have to write that कि all the teachers, okay, should start such kind of all the teachers of the school and colleges, they should invite the lecturers who can give the lectures on the emotional intelligence. Okay, teacher has to teach in the class so that emotional energy, there should be a stimulations of the emotional energy. Means from that study we have come to know that there is a strong relationship between the emotional intelligence and the academic achievement. So it means not only we have to being teacher, being lecturer, we don't have to finish our syllabus only. This is not our responsibility. Our responsibility is that we have to put some skills into the students, you know beyond the syllabus. We have to stimulate the emotional intelligence. Okay, we have to make the student up to that level. There should be a having the emotional intelligence, right? So because we have come to know that if they have the higher emotional intelligence, naturally there will be a higher level of academic achievement, because our study says that. So under the educational implications you have to write that. And the last point is that suggestions for further research. Under the suggestion for further research, you can write that this study is applied only the prospective teacher of a particular district. You can say that this study can be applied on the college level students, on the senior secondary level students in a particular different districts. Okay, these all things you write under the suggestions. ओके, पांचों मैंने बता दिए. अब लास्ट 6वें में या लास्ट में, okay, you don't have to mention the number. So basically you write the bibliography. Okay, here you write all the authors which you have taken. So basically there is a one standard which you have to write that. Okay, surname you write the last. Okay, so these all the things you have to write, and in the last you paste that whatever the tools you have selected. Okay, guys. So this is your dissertations. I hope you all have made and you have submitted. Okay. Now, these are the some of the questions. Okay. You can see that I have made a, one PPT, what the examiner can ask. And trust me, okay, beyond this examiner can't go. Okay. These are all the questions. Okay. So examiner can ask from you name of your study, So you can tell that, okay, sir, my study is the study problem, research, okay, research topic. You have to say that my topic is emotional intelligence of prospective teacher in relations to the academic achievement. याद रखो ऐसे फ्लो में ही बोलना है, ठीक है, वो धीरे धीरे नहीं, बिकॉज टॉपिक आपको इट शुड बी ऑन योर फिंगर टिप. डिफाइन योर वेरिएबल्स, कौन से आपके वेरिएबल है, इमोशनल इंटेलिजेंस है, एकेडमिक अचीवमेंट है. इंडिपेंडेंट डिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल वो ऑलरेडी आई हैव taken class of your variable and others है ना, explain to you. Independent variables are those variable which having the effect, राइट. डिपेंडेंट क्या हो गए, जिसपे इफेक्ट जा रहा है, ओके. ये इंडिपेंडेंट और डिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल हो गए. यू कैन टेक द एग्जांपल ऑफ, फॉर एग्जांपल, टू मच कंज्यूमिंग ऑफ लिकर अफेक्ट्स ऑन द लीवर. तो लीकर क्या होगी, इंडिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल, ओके. लीकर का इफेक्ट कहां आ रहा है, लीवर के ऊपर. लीवर इज ए डिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल, right. What are the intervening variable which which creates a problem? For example, teacher is teaching in the class and your topic is related with the teaching, okay, but you know what is happening on the back of the teacher, okay, where he or she is teaching in the class, okay, one train is coming and there is a noise of train and every day it is coming, तो naturally it is also impacting that. ये error आ गया है ना, तो वो होते हैं intervening variable. और पॉपुलेशन, सैंपल और सैंपल साइज क्या चीज है. सैंपल क्या था हमारी स्टडी में, हमारी स्टडी क्या थी, इमोशनल इंटेलिजेंस ऑफ प्रोस्पेक्टिव टीचर इन रिलेशन टू द एकेडमिक अचीवमेंट. तो प्रोस्पेक्टिव टीचर हमारा सैंपल थे, राइट. सैंपल साइज माइट बी 100, माइट बी 200 है ना, अकॉर्डिंग टू यू वट एवर यू हैव सिलेक्टेड. और पॉपुलेशन क्या थी, फॉर एग्जाम्पल, आप 100 teachers you have selected and you have selected a one district, any of the district, under the and under the district you have selected a one college. तो ऐसा तो नहीं है कि एक ही कॉलेज होगा, might be there are many colleges over there, 20 colleges, 30 colleges, okay. So all the B.Ed colleges of particular district is your population. You have to understand, right? So under that population you have selected a sample, only one or two colleges, okay, because sample और populations मैंने आपको already करवा दिया है ना. Sample is a part of the population, right? It which represents the population. तो वो जो एक दो colleges हैं which you have selected and you have done the research work over there, you have taken the data from there. That particular college represents the student of B.Ed trainees of that particular college represents the whole of the B.Ed colleges of that district, right? Sampling technique, random sampling technique, है ना. How you collected the responses? So you have to say कि I have used the standard tool, okay. For example, emotional intelligence का मंगल सर का है और भी कहीं है ना. You have taken that and you have taken the copies of all the 100 copies or 200 copies. What is your sample size? You have print out that and you approach to that particular college from where you had to collect the data. After taking the permissions from the principal, you took the class, distributed the questionnaire to all the B.Ed trainees, okay. And after 1 hour, after passing some instructions, you have got the paper back, right? So these all things, and last क्या है, ये इसके नीचे आ रहा है. Standardized questionnaires आपको पता ही है, okay. Some scholars use the standardized questionnaire. Some scholars make the self-prepared questionnaire, right? Why you chose this study? So guys, here you should know that why you have chosen the study, right? You can say that about the emotional intelligence, why you have taken it, है ना. So you have to tell the significance, yeah, why you have chose this study about it, okay. So might be you know about that because this is your topic, right? Operational definition must you have to remember, right? What is the operational definition of emotional intelligence? Because you have taken the, you have taken the help of your guide also. You have taken the help of a lot of theses, lot of research papers, okay. So you will come to know that the operational definitions, but you have to write in your words, right? Objective, hypothesis, null, delimitations, we have already covered it. These all things you have to write. You have already written in the chapter 1. Research objectives, है ना. अभी hypothesis तो हमने already है ना, we have just discussed 3 hypotheses we have taken. There will be no significant difference between the emotional intelligence and academic achievement of prospective teachers. Second, we have taken there will be no significant difference between the emotional intelligence and academic achievement of prospective teacher with respect to gender. Third, हमने कहा कि relationship ही नहीं है. There will be no significant relationship exist between the emotional intelligence and academic achievement, right? Null hypothesis, you have come to know that these all the null hypothesis. The null hypothesis means there will be no, है ना. कि हम ऐसे ही मान के चलते हैं, बिकॉज we have to conduct an experiment on the null hypothesis. Delimitations, you have selected a particular district, particular college, huh? So naturally you have to delimit your study, because if you don't delimit, so it will take a lot of times and lot of energy, right? So it is not possible. Okay, within a 1 or 2 years you have to finish your study also, right? Tool of your study, I have already told. When the examiner asks, guys, these are the questions, these are the expected questions which examiner will ask during your M.Ed Viva, right? So tool of your study, I have taken an emotional intelligence tool of, Dr. Mangal, है ना, या और भी होंगे कहीं, whatever you have selected. Define all the tools, questionnaires, तो उनको भी थोड़ा टूल को पढ़ लेना, है ना, कितने क्वेश्चंस हैं, राइट? ऐसा ना आप बोलो मंगल का टूल है, वो पूछे क्वेश्चंस कितने थे, आप बोलो जी 100 क्वेश्चंस थे, उसके अंदर 50 ही क्वेश्चंस हो। ठीक है ना? सो गाइस, इफ यू ऑनेस्टली यू हैव डन इट, तो यू शुड हैव टू गो थ्रू द टूल्स आल्सो। विच स्टैटिस्टिकल टूल यू शुड यूज, है ना, वो मैंने बता ही दिया। मीन हो गया आपका, स्टैंडर्ड डिविएशंस हो गया, है ना। इफ यू हैव चोजन ए, if you have taken the median mode t test, you all have to refer that. कोरिलेशंस है, रिग्रेशंस है, फैक्टर एनालिसिस है। फैक्टर एनालिसिस तक तो एमएड के थीसिस कम ही जाते हैं। पीएचडी के थीसिस में फैक्टर एनालिसिस भी हम निकालते हैं, उसमें हम लोग निकालते हैं उनका कौन कौन से फैक्टर्स थे जो रिस्पॉन्सिबल्स थे, ठीक है। सो एमएड के थीसिस तक मोस्टली कोरिलेशन रिग्रेशन तक ही होता है। कोरिलेशंस मैंने आपको ऑलरेडी आई हैव टोल्ड यू, टू फाइंड आउट द रिलेशनशिप बिटवीन द टू वेरिएबल, राइट? एंड रिग्रेशन मींस when you want to find the effect of one variable on the other variable, then regression we use. These all the statistical tool you always have to remember, right? ये numerical होते हैं ना, because when you do your study, your research work ना, तो unless you get the numerical data, huh? Basically you have to get the numerical data na, only then you can calculate that, right? That's why you use the statistical tool. How you interpret the result software, I have told you SPSS software, Excel, है ना, basically ये use होते हैं। Testing hypothesis, I have told you, level of significance. You test your, all the null hypothesis with the level of a significance, right? Level of significance is a statistical significance. It is a threshold value where you check your calculated value, right? Mostly 0.05 and 0.01, देखो वो भी आ गया यहाँ पे। एजुकेशनल implications है ना, वी हैव जस्ट, है ना, डिस्कस एजुकेशनल implication। सजेशन भी वी हैव जस्ट डिस्कस, राइट? क्वेश्चंस रिलेटेड टू चैप्टर 4 एंड चैप्टर 5, ओके, वही आगे कोरिलेशन, रिग्रेशन, टेस्टिंग हाइपोथेसिस, सिग्निफिकेंस लेवल, सजेशंस फॉर फर्दर रिसर्च। बिकॉज लास्ट आपको पता ही है पॉइंट क्या है, सजेशंस फॉर फर्दर रिसर्च, है ना, यही है। ओके गाइस, थैंक यू सो मच। आई होप within a this short video you have come to know that all the research study, right, all the dissertation, right, all the questions being asked by the examiner can ask any of the questions. You can't say that he will ask the question from chapter 4 and chapter 5. Why? He can also ask the chapter 1 also, although your two practicals, two viva has already done in the second semester and the third semester. This is the fourth semester. In the fourth semester you have to write the chapter 4 and chapter 5, but examiner can ask any kind of questions. So I hope guys, इस वीडियो को पॉज करके आप देख लेना कौन कौन से वो क्वेश्चंस थे। You have to note the questions, you have the time, you can write the answer also, okay? And thank you so much, and wishing you all the best for your dissertation, M.Ed dissertation viva. Thank you so much guys.